Welcome back to the Ram Truck Workshop at the Rebuilding Exchange. We're with Sean Buino, owner of Dad's Handyman Service on the north side. Sean, you brought in a screen today. Why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah, we've got a screen door here.
Okay.
And we have a little hole right here in the screen. So I'm going to show you two ways of repairing this, okay? We're going to do a localized repair where we just cover the hole. And then we're going to show you the more correct way of doing it, replacing the whole piece of screen with a piece of fresh screen so that the whole door is intact and looks uniform.
Before we begin this screen repair project, here's what we'll need. To simply patch a hole, we need a patch of aluminum screen, available at any hardware store, a putty knife, and a razor blade. Easy as that. To replace the entire screen in the door, we'll need a roll of fiberglass screening, a roll of spline to hold the screen in place, a spline roller, a putty knife, a razor blade, and a screwdriver. Where do we begin on this project?
Well, the first thing I'm going to show you is how to patch the screen without redoing the whole screen, okay? And so what you need to do is you need to get a piece of aluminum screen. We want to determine how big the hole is, and we want to cut a piece of screen patch large enough to cover that space. So you just take your thumb, and you're going to work out little pieces of threads. Okay, and it's going to leave us like a fringe of screen.
Sure.
So then we're going to take our putty knife, and we're going to hold it right up to where the fringe starts.
Okay.
And we're going to bend it over. So now it's in a 90-degree angle from the screen patch. And so we're going to put it right over the hole in our screen.
Okay.
And we're going to just kind of wiggle the patch on so that all the pieces of aluminum screen that we cut out, the fringe, poke through. And then once they poke through, you're going to bend them from underneath with your finger.
Yes.
It's very simple to do.
To patch a hole, you can only use aluminum because the fiberglass won't hold in the same way. But if you got more than 5 minutes to spend, you can use the fiberglass screening to replace the whole screen and have your door looking as good as new.
That was the easy way to repair a screen, but I'd like to show you the more correct way of replacing a screen.
First step, unscrew the door's handle and set it aside.
So now the next part of this project is to take the screen off, okay? What I'd like to do is use the putty knife.
Oh, there you go.
Just to poke through the spline. And then now go ahead and just work it all the way down, just pull it up all the way down the side of the window frame.
If you're working with an older screen, the spline can be brittle. If that's the case, just work slowly, making sure to get it all out before you replace it. Once the spline is out, the screen is free. Now it's time to get your new screen in place. So how much does a roll like this cost?
A roll of screen like this should cost under 20 bucks.
Before you head to the hardware store to pick up your screening, be sure to take measurements of your door. These rolls come in different sizes, and you'll want to buy a wide enough roll that you'll have excess on each side.
So the next step is to take our spline, okay? And we want to locate our track, okay? So the track is where we pulled the spline out of. And we're going to take our spline roller. I just want to make an indentation. I'm just rolling it right across, putting the spline roller into the channel, and just rolling it right across. Now you want to make sure that the screen is taut as possible and straight as possible, because we don't want a lot of waves once we do the final install. Now this is a very important part. We're going to push the spline into the channel. We're going to get the putty knife again. Okay. And we just want to make sure we push this down. So now we're going to use the roller, okay? And we're basically going to roll this spline into the channel. Okay. Now this is going to be a little bit difficult because the screen that we have is really thick.
What's the difference between the two sides of that roller?
The flat end is more to create the channel.
Okay.
And the side with the divot in there is more to push the spline in.
Which side do you cut the pizza with?
This side.
Okay.
Always this side. Just like any home improvement project, if it's your first time doing it, you have to be really patient. Don't get frustrated. Don't be intimidated. The most important thing is to have the right tools.
And to finish off the corners, the right tool is the putty knife. And of course, Sean puts me on the spot to see if I've got the skill.
Let's see if you can do it here.
Do it without ripping the screen.
Yeah, just do your best. The next step is going to be to cut the excess screen off. Okay. And that's going to be pretty simple to do, but you've got to be really careful because we just rescreened the whole door, and we don't want to cut anything in the middle, of course. We just want to cut the edges.
Sean shows me how to carefully trim the excess screen by using a razor blade to cut around the spline. And then it's my turn.
There you go. Nicely done. Okay, look how nice and clean that is.
And soon enough, we're on the last step, just reattaching the door handle. Honestly, I never knew it was this easy to just replace a screen. This is amazing. Not only did I just learn the super cheap quick fix to patching a screen hole, but in only 30 minutes and for just $25, I now know how to replace an entire screen. Not bad for this novice.